All right, now that we have the front and the back side seams bound, we can go ahead and sew up the side seam. So you can clip from the top to the bottom. I clip on the top and then on the bottom, and then I ease it in the middle because the back piece is a little bit longer than the front piece. And then you can sew that at the 5/8 inch seam allowance. Okay, so this is the side seam right here, the back patch pocket, and then the front slat pocket. We need to reinforce the high tension areas of the slat pocket. So you can do a bar tack right up here, and then a bar tack right down at the bottom. And that just keeps it from every time that you put your hand in the pocket that it isn't like ripping open or anything like that. It just helps keep it really strong. So you can go ahead and do that. For my bar tacks, I usually use a width of, I think, about 1.5, and then a length of about 0.5. And your bar tack should only be about 1/4 of an inch long. Okay, now the bar tacks are done. You can see here, one on the top and one on the bottom of that slat pocket. So now before we sew up the crotch seam, we are going to finish the edges. For my supplex ones, I decided to do just to serge the edge, but you can also bind it, which is what I'm doing with these stretch twill ones. So following the video about how to use double fold bias binding, you can bind the inside of both of these. And then we're going to take them and put them right sides together. Okay, so now that we have the inseam and the side seams finished, we are going to put the shorts right sides together, both legs. So first I like to line up the inseam, and then you can just go ahead and clip those together. And then work your way clipping up the back of the shorts. And what's really important when you're sewing this is that you line up those back yoke pieces. So a good thing to do might be to baste right over that first to make sure that they're lined up before you continue stitching. So we'll start at the center back. And so there's the back yoke right here. So baste right here to make sure that those are lined up, and then sew down into where the inseam is. And then you should have a mark on your pattern piece. So this is the front pattern piece, and you'll notice there's these little holes right here, or little notches right here. You should have one marked with the size that you cut out, and we're going to stop our stitching at 1/2 inch right below that. So you're going to be sewing up here, and then go straight up into a 1/2 inch right below that dot. So make sure you've transferred that notch to your fabric. Okay, so we have the raw edges of the crotch seam finished with the binding, and then I sewed the crotch seam. First I did the basting of where the back yoke meets the back pants piece, and then I sewed it with just a regular stitch, and then I reinforced it with the triple stretch stitch. If you don't reinforce it, the seam will likely pop. So I would definitely reinforce it. And that seam goes all the way down and then up into here. There we go. Here was that notch that I marked, so a 1/2 inch below that notch is where that seam ends. Okay, so once we're done with that, you're going to take the two front fly pieces. So if you were wearing the pants, the left side, which is this side, is going to be folded at the notch that's furthest from the fly. So back with the pattern piece, Someone took a bite out of my pattern piece. But there's these two notches up here, and you should have them both marked on your pattern piece. But the one that is furthest from the fly, which would be this one, is going to get folded under at that point down into the crotch seam, and you can clip it, iron it, however you'd like. And then on the other side, you're going to take the closest to the fly notch and fold it as well, with the aligning the edge, I guess, or the fold with this crotch seam. Now we're going to be working on the zipper shield. You should have two zipper shield pieces, and then one of them should be interfaced. You're going to take the zipper shield pieces and put them right sides together, and then you're going to sew along the longer edge, the edge that has that curve on it. You sew that side. Okay, now that that's sewn, we can trim down this seam allowance and clip the curves. So I just like to clip these little triangles into the curve so that when you turn it right side out, it lays flatter. And then I trim the rest of the seam allowance. All right, and then turn these down a little bit. We are going to turn this right side out. So you shouldn't be able to see the interfacing. There we go. And you can press it. It should look like this. This is the curve that we just sewed. And now you need to finish this edge. So you have the open edges right here. That's the side that you're finishing. So you could finish it with a zigzag or a serger. I'm going to do the binding, so I will just bind along this edge right here. Now the zipper shield is right here, and then we have the zipper. This is the bound edge that I just finished. You're going to take your zipper and lay it on top of the zipper shield, lining up the left, if you're looking at it, the left side of the zipper with the bound edge. And then you can clip or pin down this side. And you're going to sew using a zipper foot on your machine. So let's see here. So we're going to sew this side right here. Okay, now we have the zipper shield sewn to the zipper. Have a little thread here. Okay, so these are attached. We are going to now take the right front. If you were wearing the pants, it would be the right front, and attach this zipper and zipper shield to that. So you need to find your notch that you marked before, that you stopped a ½ inch under when you were sewing, and line up the zipper stop, which is the bottom part of the zipper that stops the zipper from just running off the edge, and line those up together. And bring the top edge of the pants to the top of the zipper. So what's most important is that you line up this zipper stop with that notch that we already marked. And if your zipper goes up past the top of the pants, that's okay. We can trim that off. So that's not a big deal. So now we need to pin these together. And it will go through the front of the pants where they're folded over, and the zipper as well as the zipper shield. And we're going to edge stitch. So just right, using your zipper foot again, just right along this edge. You're going to stitch from the top to the bottom, stopping right where that the zipper stop is. Okay, now the shield and the zipper are sewn to the right front of the shorts using that edge stitch, and using the Wash Away Wonder Tape really helped. So I would suggest that you probably do that as well when you're sewing yours. Now we're going to take the left front of the pants and put it over the top of the zipper, and it should be overlapping the right front of the pants by 1/4 of an inch. So this part right here should be 1/4 of an inch. Then you can go ahead and clip those together or use a needle or a pin, sorry. And then I would smooth this out right here, and you can pin down that as well. I like to pin vertically on this part. It seems like that has worked the best for me. Okay, so now those are together. We're going to flip it so you're looking at the wrong side. Oops. Okay, so now they are inside out. This is the front, here's the shield, the zipper, the fly front facing, then the other fly front facing. So we are going to take, and these are the pockets right here. So we're going to take the the zipper shield, fold it out of the way to expose that zipper right underneath. And then you're going to take some pins and pin this zipper to the fly front facing that you have right underneath it. So pin these together, keeping the zipper parallel to the edge of the facing. And you're going to sew down next to the zipper, attaching it to only the facing using your zipper foot. Make sure you keep that shield out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to sew down right here, only sewing it to this fly front facing, and do not sew it to the actual shorts yet. Okay, now the zipper is fully attached to the pants, we're going to work on our top stitching. You fold the left front over the top of the zipper again, looking at the right side, so it will overlap by 1/4 of an inch. And then mark where your zipper stop is. So I just marked it with a pin right here. And then take some kind of fabric writing utensil, and you're going to mark 1 inch from this folded edge right here. And this is going to be for your top stitching. So I like to mark 1 edge all the way, or 1 inch all the way down. And then this is going to curve into the point that you'd marked where the bottom of your zipper stop is. So I'll just draw a little curve right here. It will look something like that. So now you need to fold your zipper shield out of the way. So this is the zipper shield right here. So fold this to the other side. And you can clip that down so it doesn't get in the way, and you're going to do your top stitching. So follow it down along the marks that you just did, and then curve right underneath the zipper stop, and make sure that you're not catching the zipper shield in that. It should just be your front pants, the zipper, and then the zipper fly facing. Okay, we have this top stitched down here, and then it curves right underneath the zipper stop. Then you're going to take your zipper shield and fold it back over so it's sitting how it's normally supposed to sit. And you're going to do a bar tack right at the bottom inside, and that'll just keep that high stress area more secure. So now your zipper should be completely functional. So exciting. And we are going to move on to the belt loops. Now the last step we're going to be doing for today is working on the belt loops. So you have your 3 belt loop pieces, and then I put them right or wrong side up. And with other fabric, I would suggest that you use an iron to do this, but with the stretch twill, it doesn't really hold a press very well, so I don't really even find it worth it to try to press it most of the time. So you're going to take both of the long edges and fold them in with wrong sides together 3/8 of an inch. So I'll just clip those. Then we'll do the top 3/8 of an inch as well. And you can measure this, I feel like, but I usually just eyeball it because 3/8 of an inch is a pretty common amount. So I just clip that all the way down. And then you're going to fold it in half. So take those folded edges that you just created and line them up, and then you can move your clips so it's holding on to both sides of the fabric. It's a little finicky. Oops, this one came undone. You could use wash away wonder tape if you wanted to here as well. That might make things easier for you. Okay, so move the clips so it's holding on to both sides. There we go. And now we're going to top stitch. So you want to do a single straight stitch on both sides of the belt loop. So on the top you'll do one, and then on the bottom you'll do one. And you're going to do that with all 3 pieces of the belt loop. Okay, so the top stitching on the belt loops is done. Hopefully you can see that all right. And now we're going to cut the belt loops in half. So you only need 5 belt loops. And with the 3 pieces, we've actually constructed 6. So you can cut them in half, and then you're going to pick your 5 best looking ones. I think mine pretty much all look the same, so I'll probably just pick the first 5. Okay, and then you're going to grab your pants or your shorts, whatever you're making, and we're going to line up these belt loops. So see how this is nicely lined up thanks to my basting. Looks so great. And you're going to take your belt loop with right sides together. You are going to line it up where you want them put. So I do one in the center back, and you can imitate any pants that you have, like ready to wear pants, that would totally work. And then clip them down. So I will use my ruler, where did it go? And measure from the side seam, making sure that they're even on both sides. Maybe 3 inches looks good. So I'll put another one here at 3 inches, centering it on that point. And then do the same thing on the other side. Measure 3 inches, here it is. Grab another one. And they're right sides together, matching raw edges. So we have 3 back here. And then you want to do the ones on the front. You'll have 2 on the front. And you can measure, there we go. Probably measure from the side seam again, and I think 4 inches from the side seam towards the front looks good. So I'll put another one here, and then do the last one on the other side. Again, I'll measure 4 inches right here. That point is here. And then the very last thing for today is to baste your belt loops. So you can just do a basting stitch over all 5 of your belt loops, and we are done for today.